Welcome to Spiritual Nuggets Podcast, where you have the opportunity to enjoy His presence in miniature portions. These are not oversized, repetitive expressions that lose their value. They are nuggets, larger than a crumb, yet small enough for you to enjoy in a single sitting. So, take a moment to listen and let these nuggets feed your soul. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Spiritual Nuggets, where we pause for a moment of reflection, encouragement, and the love of God. Before beginning the message for episode 12 podcast, I am excited to announce that the book, which occupied so much of my life journey, is now published and available to all. It is titled Rainbow Outside the Clouds: Overcoming the Challenge of Homosexuality with Love, Grace, and Truth. It is a personal journey of faith, forgiveness, love, and truth. It's available for purchase on Amazon in both paperback and Kindle formats. You can also find information about the book directly at www.yvonnemallory.com. Because of its subject matter, perhaps only the fearless will have the courage to read it. But I am certain that if read, your soul will be blessed. If after you have read it and you're encouraged, your heart is opened in a different way, please take a moment to leave a rating and a review on Amazon. Now, before I introduce episode 12 podcast, I invite you to listen to the book audio trailer. Here is the trailer.
In a world divided by storms of anger, labels, and shame, how can truth and love walk hand in hand? Rainbow Outside the Clouds calls Christians to rediscover the message of Jesus, grace without compromise, truth spoken in love. Through personal testimony, biblical teaching, and a mother's journey through loss, Dr. Mallory shares how God transformed her heart after losing her son to AIDS. She invites believers to replace disdain with compassion, to become true fishers of men, pointing others toward Christ with love and courage. If you've been silenced, shamed, or misunderstood for standing on biblical truth, this book will equip you to speak with boldness, tenderness, and hope. Rainbow Outside the Clouds: Overcoming the Challenge of Homosexuality with Love, Grace, and Truth. Order your copy now and discover the power of truth, wrapped in unconditional love.
Now on to episode 12, Healthy Seeds, Abundant Harvest, reflects on the origin of the harvest reaped from our garden of life. What kind of harvest are you reaping? Healthy Seeds, Abundant Harvest. As we enjoy the fall season, it brings with it the opportunity to enjoy many seasonal fruits and vegetables such as apples, pears, greens, mustard, turnip, collard, winter squash, and some of our spices like fennel. Many of these vegetables began as seeds planted in the ground. If you have ever investigated the background of a seed, then you have discovered it is one of the most amazing items in God's creative basket. It is made up of several parts, which include the storage of carbohydrates, fats, and proteins to support the embryo as it starts to grow. One noteworthy component is its protective seed coat. Like a loyal, well-armed sentry, it is extremely strong and provides protection against unwanted parasites and unhealthy environmental conditions. One of its most critical functions is to prevent excessive loss of water from within the seed. Given the right conditions, the average seeds will thrive and bring forth a healthy and plentiful harvest. Not surprisingly, the metaphorical expression of sowing and reaping illustrates perfectly what results when seeds are planted, sown, which is the action, and gathered, reaped in the harvest, which are the consequences. This is a universal concept, not unique to any one group or person. Both words, sowing and reaping, operate in the same harmony as planting a seed and can be applied to anyone. Sometimes there may even be an "I told you so" ending. Despite its generally recognized biblical origins, politicians, political candidates, musicians, self-help teachers, life coaches, motivational speakers, businesses, advertising agencies, charitable organizations use the sowing and reaping expression. One of the reasons for its popular usage can be attributed to a couple of undeniable truths that apply to the sowing and reaping principle. First, evidence of a good seed that has been cared for and placed in the best possible planting surroundings for healthy growth is shown by its harvest. Like a seed in a garden, words and actions are also seeds filled with power to bring forth or reap a positive or a negative harvest. Words and or actions can damage the character of another, devalue another, and even cause the death of another. If I continuously plant negative seeds, my harvest will eventually bring forth a negative crop. Some seeds take many months to develop a root system and years to yield their produce. Rarely will my harvest spring up overnight. When it finally appears, it may not be the one expected. Second, what I plant is what I get. If I plant carrot seeds, what type of vegetables will I get? Certainly not peas. If I plant pumpkins, my harvest will be pumpkins, not lettuce. This also applies to life harvests. If I plant false information, someone is bound to find out the truth and trace it back to me. If I plant seeds to support and assist others, these same things will be available for me when I need them. If I plant seeds of love, my harvest will bring forth love. In fact, a person's harvest will tell its own story. For example, sowers yielding harvests. Clara Barton, founder of the American Red Cross. Martin Luther King, civil rights leader and statesman. William and Catherine Booth, founders, Salvation Army. Mother Teresa, missionary. Paul the Apostle, author of 2/3 of the New Testament estimated. Here are some sayings I have observed regarding sowing and reaping. Life is like a garden. You reap what you sow. Paul Coelho. Keep your hands closed. Nothing comes in. Anonymous. Clean out your closet to make room for new things. Anonymous. Whoever sows sparingly will also reap sparingly. Whoever sows generously will also reap generously. 2 Corinthians 6:9. As I have observed those who plow evil and those who sow trouble reap it. Job 4:8. Do not be deceived. God cannot be mocked. A man reaps what he sows. Galatians 6:7. You reap what you sow. Life is like a boomerang. Our thoughts, deeds, and words return to us sooner or later with astounding accuracy. Grant and Bright. The current environment of our nation reflects our harvest of the seeds we plant. Like a fountain that continually flows, our seeds are thriving, but so are the weeds. In fact, you almost can't tell the difference. Biblically speaking, death and life are in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall eat its fruit. Proverbs 18:21. Currently, that little member of an overflowing mouth is sowing bags of seed that are bound to bring forth a rotten harvest. These types of seeds don't require any attention, compassion, or love. Like aggravating weeds, they just thrive. God sets before us life and death. We have an opportunity to choose one or the other by our actions and the seeds we sow. You may want to take a moment and reflect on some of the seeds you've sown in your garden of life. Check and make sure that they have been planted under the right conditions of love, compassion, and nutrients that help them thrive and remain healthy.